Okay. So recording, and this is on. You are more than welcome to keep telling me about Dollhouse.
Russian Doll.
Yeah, Russian Doll. There you go. Dollhouse is a play by not Neil Gaiman, but has a name similar to it. It's a very famous play about a mom who abandons her children, and for whatever reason, that's a good thing.
Yharnam is the home of blood administration.
It's not my favorite genre of thing. Like the eat, pray, love genre of life. The mommy who regrets being a mommy fantasy.
Yeah,
it's a high key yikes for me, dog.
I read it in Images of Women in Literature, and it's like the first.
Not surprised.
It's like the first thing we read, and it's like a woman empowerment story because it's about like a Victorian era woman who is like has more of a plaything relationship to her husband, you know, that sense the dollhouse, you know. And basically she's like, I've had enough of this, and she just abandons her children, and that's like, obviously there's more to it, but it is pretty that straightforward.
I love how like antinatalism is like so fucking edgy woke, but like abandoning your kids, that's just empowering.
Right.
Have them and then be like, never mind later. That's so much better.
Yeah, I was pretty mad about that. I was like, she's a shitty person. And they're like, well, she only abandoned her kids because she didn't want them. I was like, still makes you a shitty person.
Also, don't have them.
Yes. Yeah, but anyway.
It is really easy to just lie about miscarriages. So easy.
Yeah, but that's the first thing we read, and that's when I realized I was in for a long semester. Young hair. Oh, it's just a monocle? I didn't even realize. That's gross. What do you think? Some, like, Neo glasses?
Yeah, she's blind.
Okay, that's my new favorite headcanon. What do you think?
She's like, it's a fucking superhero. That one. Daredevil?
Oh,
yeah,
Daredevil,
she's
yeah.
like that.
What hair color do you think?
Yeah, like bright red. No, you were, yeah.
Just like that?
Like raw red, yeah.
Like
yeah.
Ronald McDonald's red. Okay. Face resets. Todd doesn't like any of the faces in Bloodborne. She thinks all the women look too manly. Which I can kind of get. It's like very, you know, strongly angled faces, but...
I don't know why their chins are so weak, but their jaws are so strong.
It's like high-key because they probably just designed like a male model.
It kind of makes them look like they got like condition or something, like an extra chromosome or something.
Yeah, but I mean, you spend very little time looking at your hunter's face, so it's kind of whatever. Sure. Sounds fine.
It really is just that is just like leftover from playing Sims for like a solid decade, is putting way too much care into your female character specifically. Because if you could only make a male character, she wouldn't give a shit. Yeah. It's like you could make a girl, you're like, I'm gonna make her gorgeous.
So, how about the name?
Gary Glitter.
There you go. This is a woman, but sure.
How heteronormative of you.
That's more cruel. I don't think it's heteronormative to give your female a female name.
You don't think so?
I don't know. Like, if I give you a boy's name, like an obvious, like your name's Richard, is that really progressive or is that just cruel?
Well, Richard's just a bad name.
Yeah, dick. But
yeah.
So anyways, tell me about...
I also meant gender normative, but whatever. We can make this a queer thing, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I guess I didn't think about that. Are there gay names?
Go on. Like...
I don't...
Like, I suck's dick. Like, that's a pretty gay name.
That's like a double-edged sword right there. I hear it's often difficult to find a date in the gay community, but if you're just walking around with a giant flag that says, I am gay... Like, that's your name? Gaylord's a real name.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Whatever happens,
yeah.
You may think it all.
Yeah, name your kid Gaylord.
At the beginning of this game, you get a blood transfusion, and me and Aaron were actually going back and forth on, like, why. Because my headcanon's always been that, like, you're a hunter, because, like, that's what you are, and you're sent to this town to, like, complete a contract. But he's like, you very obviously come to this town because either you or someone you know is sick, and you just like kind of accidentally become a hunter. And I'm like, I can't fight you on that because like the plot is so ambiguous.
Yeah, you want to tell me why a werewolf comes out of the goddamn ground?
This is more like your scene. So in Yharnam, the place you're coming to visit, the reason being is like unclear, but you're coming to this town called Yharnam. This is actually you performing a contract. Like what he's doing right now is like runes in this game are like contracts you make with old gods, and they're literally inscribed on the inside of your mind. Like you close your eyes and you see them. So it's implied here that that's what that like thing was doing. Like it was making a contract with you. At least that's Aaron's dream, that you come here for blood transfusion and right then you become a hunter. And then my thing was that you come here as a hunter and that beast explodes because you're like protected. But I guess it doesn't matter because you're a hunter either way, but...
You found yourself a hunter.
Yep, here we go. Start the game. Looks so much better on this television. Can actually see everything.
It's like HD.
Yeah, you gotta have the clown hair out. So tell me about the Russian doll. So why is it called Russian doll?
I'm not too sure myself. Perhaps it's supposed to be analogous to the multiple lives that she's living through her Groundhog's Day affliction.
Oh.
I mean, I can only assume, but if there is a deeper meaning to that name, it has yet to become clear to me.
Start off now.
You died.
I love the font that just like you died, like you don't know.
Get fucked.
I really wish it did just say something like that.
Get shreked. Yeah, no, I really don't know too much about where this show is going, which is odd because I'm technically almost halfway through it because I think it's 8 episodes. I'm on episode 4.
The whole show's only 8 episodes?
I believe so.
That's pretty gnarly. Oh, I never noticed that actually. See these little messenger guys? They're holding all 3 of your weapon choices. You're like physically picking a weapon from them. It's cute.
Get the cane.
Cane. The cane is like my favorite, but
Are you telling me Cane and Blunderbuss is not the best build?
that is well, it depends like
If you want to win?
Yes. Well, it's like Pokemon, right? Like if you're fucking Shuby, you pick a fire starter because the first area
Every
is grass.
time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Well, so the first boss you fight is a beast, and beast bosses take more damage from serrated weapons. So weapons that have like edges. The cane transforms. So like the cane is like a blunt weapon because it's not sharp, right? The saw cleaver is a saw, so it does extra damage to the first boss. So
I always start with the fire type.
it's just personally I really like grass types, but yeah, fire type is pretty.
I just like torching.
Just get to level 30 before the first gym. Bye. Yeah, for no real reason, I'm also going to be trying to do this game as quickly as possible.
Not like I or not.
Yeah, the second I'm recording, it's fucking awful to me. But
It's because you're trying to talk. You're not in the zone.
you're probably not wrong.
The auto zone.
You're not wrong with it. I'd like to be in the auto zone at all times. Actually, would that be stressful if you were like in the auto zone at all times? Like, you're like picking or whatever, and you just become one with the flow.
Dude, that's what I was. That's the fever dream I was having last night.
That you're picking.
Just nonstop, and they just kept yelling at me that my time wasn't fast enough. It was actual agony. I felt like that night lasted forever.
Dude, tell me about your nightmare.
That's just what it was. Like it wasn't very coherent. It was a bunch of sensations and feelings and just rampant fear pulsing through my veins.
For everyone that's not listening, do you want to give some background as to what we mean by picking? You were working at an Amazon warehouse?
Yeah. you and I have both worked at an Amazon warehouse, and you and I both have the same job.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And that's, although, like, it worked a little differently between the two of us because the warehouse I worked at has some super rad technology that I'm super not allowed to talk about.
Yeah, actually, you did sign an NDA.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I signed some paperwork, so I actually can't get into details.
Did you read what what are you not allowed to talk about? Like, did you read enough to understand what you're not supposed to be talking about?
I mean, like, I just understand confidentiality in general. I mean, like, they did give us, like, as part of our orientation, they talked us through what we are allowed and not allowed to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are you allowed to tell me about?
I'm actually allowed to tell you more because you are a fellow, or were a fellow Amazonian.
I think I am an Amazonian. I haven't had my first...
Oh, that's right. Like, you're about to become again.
Yeah. Once I thought I was free, to pull me back in.
I should have waited until you started to quit. I can't just leave you hanging like this.
No, I'm doing like 4 hours a week, my god. I don't... it's a whole different...
I think I could have handled it if that was like my shift.
You still can. You just apply for that shift.
I mean, I have to wait until you apply. Anyway, so I'm actually allowed to tell you more. Or like talk to you more about it. Or share experiences, but I'm just not allowed to talk about like the actual technology that they have available.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, picking is just for the uninitiated. That is when you have a bunch of shit in a box, and they tell you what shit to grab. Well, in a lot of boxes actually, and they tell you what shit you have to grab, and you have to go find it. It's a timed scavenger hunt, and meanwhile, if you're not going fast enough, you will have people coming to visit you threatening to take your job away. And there's just all this whirring and beeping and just endless stuff. You really have no concept of how much shit people consume. Like how many just items and doodads and random bits of nonsense that the human race has accumulated to try and fill the void. You really have no concept until you work in a warehouse, and let alone the Amazon warehouse. And you really just get lost in the sauce after a while. So yeah, I was having this...
Yeah, you're fine. I'm just gonna... The game... There you go. Like a 60. Cause this game has a lot of screaming in it.
Can't relate. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good description. Is that apt?
Yeah, I would agree. How do you feel to be free?
I don't feel free. That's the thing, is I thought I would feel a lot better, but then I keep having nightmares about it, and I get brought back there in a moment. But that gun does nothing.
Yeah, you can make it do stuff if you like level up a certain way, but when you start the game, you start with those stats.
What are you saying?
Oh, do you often have? Is this a normal occurrence for you, for something stressful to happen and you'd have recurring nightmares about it?
It is, but usually it's not something that I was only a part of for like a week. Like for something so touch and go in my life, it had like a surprisingly poignant impact that I think is unfair, frankly. I mean, that's like getting into a relationship for a week and then breaking up because both of you are like, that. This is just high key, no thanks.
At that point, I don't even call it a relationship. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
That's like
what I'm
the
saying.
14-day return policy right there.
Exactly. Precisely. It's not even a proper relationship. And yet you carry a heartache like it was your long lost love, never to return. That's not fair. It's disproportionate and unfair.
I get that. So how long in a relationship do you have to be before you can meet somebody's parents? This conversation.
I should ask Aaron.
This conversation isn't. I once dated a young woman, and like basically as our like 4th date, I met her parents. Her mom specifically, because her dad was a truck driver, so he like wasn't like around. But yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, like, I think it has a lot to do with what's going on in the subtext, right? So the thing that I actually hate about meeting the parents as a thing that exists in our world is I hate that what that means, because it's not just a meaningless event, right? It's not just like, yeah, these are people who exist in my life and you should meet them like they're my friends.
Yeah.
It's more important than that, and the reason being is because we could be married one day. Like, that's always what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's like this societal expectation that this person is either going to be like a long-term partner, but like more specifically a legally, contractually obligated partner before a court of law, and God, if you swing that way. And that's what I don't like about it, because I find it like old-fashioned, like that at best old-fashioned, at worst like very
like property value.
Yeah, exactly. Like to well, first of all, just to like say that any relationship needs to have like marriage on the radar in order to be like long-term and fulfilling. But like even more than that, like even if you are the kind of person who's just kind of like a hopeless romantic, I'd like to be married one day, that's fine. But do your parents need to be involved? Like, it's not their marriage, you know what I mean? It's not their relationship. You know, when you're dating someone, I just don't see why parents need to be involved. It's not their business.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be their business who you fuck, who you fall in love with. It really should. I mean, like, if you care about your parents and you want to just share the things that make you happy, that's one thing. But that's not what's going on with the whole meet the parents thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what the dynamic is. It's like, is this made appropriate for me?
Oh, hello. Have you ever seen that movie, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Or I think that's called.
Is that where, like, the whole joke about, like, the parents are racist?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I've heard of it.
It's actually a pretty good movie, all things considered, but basically the conceit of it is that, like, just like, oh, fuck! Damn, I'm just writing down some of this shit. But,
You just became bitter.
yeah, the conceit of it is that there's, like, a, like, young white woman who is, like, well-to-do and, like, bringing her boyfriend to meet her, like, rich parents. But, like, he's actually, like, he's, like, the Othello of, like, boyfriends. Like, this guy's, like, high-key amazing. He's, like, handsome and charming and well-spoken and, like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. He went to, like, Harvard, even though he's from, like, the ghetto, and, like, he's basically, like, everything you could ask for, but the only problem is he's black, so the movie's, like, kind of deconstructing what that means. But then, like, it's actually, like, pretty good in terms of, like, you would expect a movie like that to be kind of, like, stupid, you know, like, herp-derp racism. But the parents are, like, high-key racist because they're concerned that he's black. But they have, like, some pretty, like, legitimate concerns. It's not that he's, like, they inherently hate black people. It's like, well, like, you know, racism is, like, a really big thing, and, like, we don't want you to have a harder life. What if you want to have kids? Like, you know. Like, they're more concerned about, like, how other people are going to treat their daughter and their grandkids, more so than the fact that he's just inherently black. And the whole movie is, like, him winning them over with his, like, charm and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's, like, tapped into the zeitgeist of this whole, like, fucking meeting the parents thing. Because, like, yeah, like, why does it matter what they think?
It shouldn't. And, like, I'm not only resistant to the idea, I find it loathsome altogether. This, like, this expectation that you should meet the parents and then on top of that try and please them. It's like I said, it's like, at that moment I do feel kind of like chattel, like I'm being brought up like, is this made appropriate? And then like the parents get to be like, yes, or no. Look at her thighs, they're far too fat. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird. That's not cool.
Yeah,
that's in the year of our Lord 2019, like, you're still gonna be out here like, well, you gotta meet the parents. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Inspect that thigh gap. Dude, I will say though, I am amazing at courting. I'm great with parents. I just speak their Shubi language. I brought your dad a pie when I met him, and he was like, wow, what a good Republican boy. And I was like, I said nothing about my political affiliations, but thank you for projecting.
I mean, like, Shubi's like my dad will do a lot of heavy lifting on your behalf. You don't have to say anything, you just nod along and we'll just fill in the blanks.
Well, I did meet your dad pretty early on, actually. Like, like third date. Met your dad.
I can only assume that's because it's so unimportant.
Yeah, that was like high-key well, that's the thing. I feel like it's weirder to meet someone's parents when they don't live with their parents. But if you live with, like, if you're dating someone and they still live at home, like, meeting their parents is kind of incidental. It's like, this is just...
Yeah, like, I live here and they're gonna answer the door sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess in that way, it's...
So to answer your question, when is it okay to meet the parents? Whenever you feel like it, and for me, that's like never.
Hell yeah. That is a little bit of a shame, because the parents you would be meeting, they are sweet as hell. I wish they were my parents.
Yeah, but like you get to interact with them in a way that's gonna be different from how I will.
You know, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no, you get to be like, you got lemonade in this bitch, and I have to show up and I'm just like, oh, my thigh gap's okay.
Right.
It's like they like show up as like, oh yeah, she'll give. It's like they give me the up down. They're like, yeah, she'll make us good grandkids.
So
you don't realize that like how much it makes my skin crawl.
I'm empathizing with you, but also I think they have enough grandkids.
True, but like that doesn't stop them from thinking that.
Dude, Aaron's the oldest.
The want machine breaks. No, I know, but that doesn't stop parents from thinking things like that.
Yeah.
Especially for the eldest. The eldest is like, with parents who they specifically look at their eldest like this is the one that deserves everything. I know because the last boy I dated was the eldest.
Ew, Brian's the oldest?
Correct.
Brian has siblings?
Correct.
Ew, what the fuck?
My point is that like there's a sense of entitlement that goes to the eldest that the others just don't share in. So like even like if what you're saying is correct, where it's like there's enough grandkids, which is true, that's not gonna change.
Yeah.
That's not gonna change the expectation. And I like my boy deserves to have kids. Like I've been around this block. I've seen this shit. I know what's coming, and I don't want it.
That's fine. Well, I mean, I hope that's like a...
It is what it is, and it will be fine.
That is how it works.
Because that's just how it's gonna be. Because it's just like, it's one of those... I'm not budging on the issue. So, you know, as you said, the truth can't hurt you. It can only change things.
Exactly.
I'm also just like really... Not only am I really scarred by my own personal experiences, but like... Because of, well, you know, we're naturally attracted to the media we can empathize with, and so I spent a lot of time reading about abusive parents and parental figures. I spent a lot of time on, like, Just Know MIL. I don't know if you know what that is.
No, what is it?
It's a subreddit. Stands for, like, Just Know Mother-in-Law.
Oh, okay.
It's like mother-in-law stories from hell.
Oh man, that's...
Because I'm not the only bitch. I'm not the only girl out here who's just like, my boy deserves to have everything and you're going to give it to him or so help me God.
That's like so fucking weird and creepy.
It is.
It's like those moms that defend like when their son like very obviously raped somebody. Like that fucking weird swimmer guy.
Oh god.
You remember that guy?
Yeah.
He's like fucking...
I remember his face and not his name.
His name was Brock something. But
Brock Turner.
Brock Turner, there you go. He like
it.
raped some girl behind a fucking dumpster.
Yeah.
And they were like concerned about his swim career, fucking LOL. Big yikes on that. But yeah, his like mom was all... I was like, what the fuck? My mom would throw me under the bus so fucking quickly. She even thought I was doing something illegal. This is the first boss. Extra damage to serrated weapons. Dude, Hikey, I don't even like this weapon. I just go it because the first boss isn't really hard per se. Because the cleric beast, you know, gender unknown, doesn't do that. Or can women be clerics?
I don't know.
Well, you know, gender unknown, whatever. But doesn't do that much damage, but has so much fucking health. I want this fight to be over as soon as possible. Oh my god, I think I died.
I just take an L that fast.
Okay, see, that's how little damage this person does, but just step into an attack issue.
Did you put all your stats into attack?
I don't have any stats to put anywhere right now. I haven't leveled up. That's why I have 5,000 souls in that corner there. But yes, that is what I'll be doing. Just so I can try to move through the game as quickly as possible.
I mean, I'm at least glad you empathize with my case because, like, I feel like so often, like my plight just kind of goes like unheeded. Like I'll try and explain like why I'm not comfortable meeting people's parents or why like things like marriage or like. I mean, like, this is the thing. It's just, like, they want you to meet their family because they want you to become part of the family and then add to the family. It's all about the family unit. And for me, the family unit is the source of, like, all grief and pain.
Yeah, it's like getting assimilated to the Borg, you know?
Exactly. And for a lot of people, they see the family unit as, like, a place of, like, joy and sentiment. And I just wholeheartedly disagree. And they just don't empathize with that, so it's like... I guess it's like showing up to Thanksgiving dinner and then you find out everyone's like you showed up to Thanksgiving dinner with cannibals and you're really trying to impress upon them why what they're doing is horrifying and wrong to you, but to them it's just Thanksgiving. That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah, come on, dude. I slaved away all day on this hot twink. But not really. Dude, even when I like think you have like a fucking like weirdo wild take, I can empathize with it. And also, I do not think that's that weird of a take, although it's like a pretty common...
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised the resistance. I mean, here's the thing, as well, is that, like... I'm not saying, like, guys don't ever feel the pressure to, like, procreate, but I will say that, like... When a woman doesn't want to, that's wholly unacceptable.
Who wants kids, dude? They're so expensive. What if they come out ugly? You can't even control it. No, for real, like... The fuck? Like, I see some babies and they're like, this is my light of the world. And I'm like, that's an ugly baby.
That is a goblin. That is a changeling.
You never met an ugly person? I'm like, what if you have an ugly person? Hey, what's up, comrade? Do you want to join our recording?
No. I'm sorry you can't eat it. I just...
Look how pretty it is.
Oh, what is it?
It's a cookie.
It's a pumpkin? That's pretty cool. Is Thanksgiving still pumpkin territory?
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I can get packages outside of my room.
Oh, fuck.
I would get it in my hand.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're just sharing some woke opinions.
Good. Also, let's pizza here in the
He brought pizza as well.
Oh, sweet.
A man of many gifts. What's that?
Oh, it's my better microphone.
After we do the whole recording.
I mean... I have definitely... I don't know. I think this mic's fine, but I do have a better mic now, which is cool.
Would you like a cookie?
A cookie? Okay. Should I set up the new mic?
You should. You literally have new mic.
I can't argue with this logic, Aaron. Alright.
Yeah. Listen to the philosopher.
Are you gonna record with this, Aaron?
Nope.
Oh, why are you so resistant to be on television?
You don't know that?
Yeah, you don't know that.
Yes. The streaming channel.
This could be Exhibit A in my fucking murder trial. We
don't know how the night's gonna go.
Yeah. Todd hasn't woken up yet.
So you just keep starting the game over because you don't want to fight that one boss?
Kind of. I just, Yeah, what's up?
My brother's game night tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I'm bringing my brother. I said, oh yeah, I'm having game night tomorrow. My mom's like, you should invite your brother. And I couldn't argue no.
That's fine.
I just wanted to, like, he inevitably gets bored and just fuck off with your brother.
Sounds good. Play Smash or something.
Yeah.
Aaron, if you're gonna be talking to us, at least sit down on the couch so it can be in the recording.
So you don't just sound like a vague whisper?
Absolutely. I mean, I guess I could stop this to set up the new mic, but you know.
And away he goes.
Away he goes.
Okay, want to go play my hentai game. Need me.
Wait, which hentai game?
It just came out. Well, it's been out. It just got localized.
What's it called?
Ever Sickle or something. It's pretty good. Ever Chronicle or something close to that.
Oh. So. I guess I don't need a stop, but.